Hey T-Birds! This is Ashley, your financial wellness coach at SUU. Today we're going to talk a little bit about budgeting. I know when you hear the word budgeting you think, this is not something I want to do. But a budget is really just a plan for your money. So today we're going to go over our 4 easy steps for successful budgeting. Step 1, know your why. The reason why it's so hard to manage our money is because we have thousands of messages all around us telling us what we should buy or how we should be spending our resources. From friends wanting us to go out, to advertisements on social media, we're constantly facing the temptation to spend. The way to guard against this is to know what is important to us and what our financial goals are. That way, when we're tempted by things that maybe aren't in our highest priorities, we can easily say no. So take some time and journal your 3 financial goals or priorities. Also, think about what you spend money on that brings you long-term fulfillment and what you usually end up regretting spending money on. That way, when you're faced with temptation, you'll always be able to remember what's most important and rewarding, and then you can prioritize that spending and saving on those things instead. Step 2, don't forget to save. Most people save whatever is left after they're done spending, but this is actually backwards. If you want to meet your financial goals, you need to save first and then make do with what's left. Also, don't forget to set money aside for an emergency fund. To make saving easier, open a separate account from the one you use for spending, and then have your employer directly deposit a percentage of your paycheck into this new savings account. You want this money to be out of sight, out of mind. Otherwise, it's just human nature. If we see money building up in an account, we'll start imagining the ways to spend it. And then all the work you put into savings can disappear like that. Step 3, know your income and expenses. Income can be anything from financial aid to a part-time job to support from your family. Your expenses are everything you need to pay to get by as a student. The most important factor here is that you need to have enough income to cover all of your expenses. If you don't, you need to find a way to reduce your expenses or bring in more income. When you're looking into your expenses, make sure to actually use your bank statements or track your spending for a week. I know I've often looked at my checking account at the end of the month and had no idea where my money went. Lots of times we think we spend a lot less money than we really do. Knowing what our expenses are and tracking them is the way to start intentionally using our money rather than being surprised by its absence. Step 4. Make it easy to track. Once you know your income, expenses, and savings goals, you can create a plan to make sure that you're meeting your goals and not spending more money than you want to be. This doesn't mean you have to track every dollar that you spend, but find some way of keeping the money that you're able to spend on flexible costs such as entertainment, groceries, and gas separate from your savings and the money you need for fixed expenses like monthly bills and rent. Maybe this means having 3 separate accounts for each of these different areas, or taking out the money for your flexible expenses in cash and only using that money for those expenses. That way, you'll be sure you don't overspend and you'll have enough money left in your bank account for your fixed costs. You can also use apps like Mint.com to track how much you're spending in each of your budget categories and how you're doing with your savings goals. This way, you don't have to track things every day, but you still know where you stand at any given point in time. All right, T-Birds, we hope this was helpful. If you ever want support in budgeting or staying on track with your financial goals, please make an appointment with Financial Wellness. This is exactly what we're here to help you with. Until then, have an amazing semester.